Welcome to the state of independence.
On election night, you can count on our partnership.
Action News and ABC News.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Gary Papa, Cecily Tynan, and Jim Gardner.
Tuesday night, and the big story on Action News tonight, a developing story in South Philadelphia. A woman is dead after a bizarre accident. Police say her head became wedged in between the bars of a wrought iron fence. Live at 22nd and South Streets, Action News reporter Michelle McCormack. Michelle, what is the story there?
Well, Jim, the sergeant on the scene says he has never seen anything like it in 15 years of police work. Apparently, this elderly woman in her 60s or 70s died after her neck became wedged in this fence, this lower fence that you see behind me. She wasn't exactly impaled, but they suspect that she might have suffocated or sustained asphyxiation, so to speak, when her neck was wedged in between two prongs. A nearby worker who didn't want to give his name did describe for us exactly what he saw.
Looked out the door, I seen all the cops. I walked over here to see, and the little old lady was hung with her feet like barely touching the ground. And her neck was between the spokes that's up on there, and she wasn't moving at all.
Now, police aren't sure if this was accidental or an intentional infliction of harm. We hear that a town watch group had actually been patrolling the sidewalk about a half hour before the woman was spotted. They didn't see any type of commotion. Police don't want to give too many details about the woman just yet. They're waiting to see if any missing persons reports come in overnight. Right now, all we know is that she's African American, in her 60s or 70s, and that she was walking with a cane. She had no identification on her. Police don't know if that's because she went outside her house for a walk without her purse or wallet, or if perhaps the unthinkable that those personal belongings might have been taken after she became stuck in this fence. Live in South Philadelphia, Michelle McCormack, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Michelle. A woman was critically injured when she was struck by a car in Westchester tonight. Chopper 6 was over the scene on South New Street near the campus of Westchester University. Police say an 18-year-old woman suffered serious head trauma after being struck by a car. She has been airlifted to the University of Pennsylvania Medical Center. Police are questioning the driver at this time. Now, the latest in the case of the bedroom prowler in the effort by Philadelphia police to make sure he is behind bars. Police are probing 3 incidents: May 17th at 3479 Emerald Street in Port Richmond, June 14th at 1862 East Atlantic Street in West Kensington, and on September 9th at 3271 Joy Street in Port Richmond. Action News reporter Dan Cuellar is live at Special Victims tonight with the details. Dan?
Well, Jim, police do have a person of interest in custody, but they cannot say conclusively that he is the man that they have been looking for. He has not been charged at this time. The 3 victims certainly hope it is because, quite frankly, they have not been able to sleep well at night. One of them is a 10-year-old girl.
I woke up and I looked at him and I was like, what is she doing?
This 32-year-old woman who asked that we not use her name says it was in the early morning hours of September 12th that the intruder broke into her home as she and her 10-year-old were sleeping, that she awoke to find him committing a lewd act.
I cussed at him actually, like, what the F are you doing? And I told him, get the F out. And he just walked out my front door.
This 28-year-old woman who did not want to be identified said the same thing happened to her back in May.
I just was scared. I was too scared to scream or talk or anything.
And back on June 14th, in the 1800 block of East Atlantic, a woman who did not want to be identified tells us the intruder assaulted her 10-year-old daughter as she was sleeping.
She woke up to somebody touching her on her front part, and she just, she panicked and she called me, and we woke up about like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to her screaming. She had a cigarette butt in her hand, and she gave it to me. I gave it to the cops.
Police do have a man in custody.
We have a person of interest that is in custody, but we do not expect him to be charged with any of these tonight. We hope to have him charged shortly.
Now, the 10-year-old thought her assailant was her 18-year-old cousin, but police tonight say that man has been ruled out. He is not a suspect. The problem is because of how dark it was in the middle of the night, the victims have only been able to give a general description of the person responsible. In any event, if anyone has any information, they're being asked to call the Special Victims Unit. We're live here in West Kensington. I'm Dan Cuellar, Channel 6 Action News.
Thank you, Dan. Police detectives spent tonight working under the lights in Burlington County, combing the area where human remains were found earlier today. Construction crews found bones and clothing along Fellowship Road and Gaither Drive in Mount Laurel. It is the area of the old Malibu Grand Prix racetrack, which closed about 5 years ago. Police don't know whether the bones are male or female or how or when the person died. Dozens of people gathered for a vigil outside the home of 14-year-old Bakeem Mitchell tonight in Wilmington. Mitchell was shot to death last night. Witnesses have told police that a green vehicle pulled up to the corner of 5th and Madison and someone inside opened fire. Mitchell was hit in the chest. His mother led community members on a march tonight following the vigil to call for an end to youth violence in the city of Wilmington. It is a mad dash to the finish line for President Bush and John Kerry. Bush brought his message to Iowa and Wisconsin today. He lost both states by small margins to Al Gore 4 years ago, and both states are very close now. In Wisconsin, Bush lashed out at Kerry's plan to repeal the tax cut for wealthy Americans. Bush said they're not all wealthy.
When you hear these people talking about tax relief, about how it only benefited certain people. This tax relief has helped our small businesses grow and prosper, and this economy's on the move because the entrepreneurial spirit is strong.
President Bush will be back in Pennsylvania tomorrow, visiting Lancaster County in the morning. The battle between Bush and Kerry for Pennsylvania's 21 electoral votes is as fierce as it can be. Now, nobody expects President Bush to win Philadelphia given the 4-1 Democratic registration advantage, or for that matter, even come close. But his performance in the city may well help decide if he wins Pennsylvania. And so the City Republican Committee held something of a pep rally tonight. Action News reporter Michelle McCormack was there.
Is George Bush going to win? Are you going to go out and get the vote?
Cocktails and cash. That's what tonight's gathering in South Philadelphia was all about. The Republican City Committee estimates at least $50,000 was raised in ticket sales alone. The proceeds to go directly towards Election Day and volunteers working the polls.
We will provide probably the fourth most votes for GOP candidates in the state of Pennsylvania. And if we don't do our job, they can't win statewide.
Operatives in the crowd talked about not only getting out the party faithful, but conservative Democrats and the undecideds, which Bush Chief of Staff Andrew Card senses are coming his boss's way.
Tracking poll that I saw this morning was headed in the right direction. We were ahead. We're on the right side of close, and that's the right place to be, so I feel pretty good.
Various Republican candidates made the rounds, some more high profile than others. Win or lose, this final week is